life shine. You gotta be working to get the woman and the wine. Keep the beat and get your hands in the air. Shuffle the beat cause it's an African affair. So go for the park and our home at St. George's. We're bringing the silverware back on the gorgeous. That's the way of the warrior. That's the way of the warrior. That's the way of the warrior. That's the everyday warrior.
Down, coming out of PE town. Have a drink, find a shot. Never mind your liver, get to Gino spot.
Gino spot.
Get to Gino spot.
Gino spot.
Have a laugh, have a giggle, and exercise your middle. Have a Gino shot.
Gino shot.
Get to Gino spot.
Gino spot.
Get to Gino spot.
Gino spot.
Have a laugh, have a giggle, and exercise your middle. Get to Gino spot.
Gino spot.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Center Stage.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to I say Center Stage. Welcome to Center Stage, to Gino Spot. Every Tuesday, Gino Spot. We have Gino Spot every single Tuesday. I want to bend my leg so I can get in the shot here. Every Tuesday, 6:30, we interview somebody from the area, somebody from our community, whether it's from Gqeberha, PE, NMB, or Utrecht, Komani, Conte, East London, wherever you are in the Eastern Cape. We try and find people, interesting people for you to get to know every single Tuesday at 6:30. So make sure that you subscribe to our YouTube channel, and YouTube is the best way to watch it if you're watching on Facebook at the moment. Well, you can watch on Facebook if you want to, but YouTube is way better. It's just easier. You subscribe to YouTube, and then you to the Gino Spot channel, and then you click on the little bell, and it reminds you every single week at every single Tuesday at 6:30, so that you don't forget, and then you can come and watch with us. Fantastic to have you with us. Tell me where you are watching from, and what you get yourself something to drink, and kick your legs back, and we can have a great chat. We've got Gareth Burley tonight, and Gareth is a very interesting lad. He's done so much stuff, so we're going to chat to him and see his journey, because I'm sure you all know him as a DJ, and possibly from the television, and possibly from doing some solo work as well, because he's quite an expert with that, as well. And so you may know him from that, but you don't know anything about his other life. And so we're going to find about his other life, or his normal life. Let's just find out what kind of a person he is. And thank you to our sponsors. Thank you to Fitch and Leeds. Yeah, Fitch and Leeds. Thank you for being with us from the beginning, Fitch and Leeds. And especially also to Fat Cats, to Grace, who has graced us with this lovely food that we have every time. Look at that beautiful, look at the color, nice color in the food. It's much healthier if you've got a bit of color in the food. And thank you to you for watching tonight as well. And make sure that you share if you know anybody that might be interested, especially expats or people that are interested in PE. Anybody that's in PE that hasn't watched it already. And get them in, and let's have a conversation as well. You can always put comments put some comments in the comments. You can put questions in the comments, and then we can answer live, because this is live, ladies and gentlemen. This is live with me drinking a little gin and tonic. It is live for you tonight, 6:30, and we're not going to. I must also just mention a few things. Firstly, our Superheroes Challenge, which is organized by my dear wife, as well as one of the Angiuleris, that's Bianca. Bianca is they're organizing this for various charities. raising funds for children with special needs and neurodiversities. That would be me as well. Bring the family and friends, kids entertainment, food trucks, bar, prizes, best dressed, lucky draws. And it's only 50 Rand for a scholar and 80 Rand for an adult. And that is on the 5th of May. The 5th of May, which happens to be one day after my show, which is on the 4th of May at Remos. There we go. On the 4th of May, you've got 2 whole days. You can come and have a little drink and a show the night before, and then you can run it off the very next day. 4th of May, $180 at Quicket. Very well priced tickets. So cheap for the price, really. And it's nearly full. I think there's only 1 or 2 tables left. So get it. If you're going to go, get a table together and get Wendy to put it. Wendy's normally in the comments here as well. Otherwise, you can see her number there as well. And there we go. Magnificent 7, our big flagship show, ladies and gentlemen, sponsored by Fitch and Leeds. That is featuring Wayne Cullis and the all-star band, which is myself and Kanya Matomela. It's got Andre Stradom, and we have Tara Jane Stern as well. We've got a fantastic band put together for this show, and that is going to be the 7 greatest bands of all time at the Hellenic Hall, which is an amazing venue. We're going to set it up there. There's some draping going in there. There's a huge there's staging and lighting going in there as well, which is going to be fantastic fun. So don't miss out on the 10th and 11th of May. 10th and 11th of May, we are going to be at the Hellenic Hall and doing our flagship show, the Magnificent 7, which she can't wait. I can't wait to get on the drums again and play. And of course, those bands, it's all those the 7 greatest bands of all time, which we've done. Fleetwood Mac. It's got Beatles, Beach Boys, Bee Gees, Creedence, ABBA, and Queen. And it's fantastic music, all done live. We haven't used tracks for this thing. It's an 11-piece band. It is huge, and it's going to be great fun. I can't wait until we can do that. All right, so I think that's all of it, Gary. I think that's all the advertising we have to do for tonight. However, we have our guest, and we are not going to bugger around anymore because we've got our guest waiting in the wings to come in. It's Gareth Burley from Kingfisher. Let's test.
Show. Now is your time to shine. We're gonna have a lekker chat tonight. Another good time.
The cameras are on. Here we go. Gareth Burley.
Gino!
We got a whole screen. We got the whole screen in. Did you what do you think about a little studio? What do you think? It's
fantastic, man. A toilet right here, a shower. There's a bed under the TV. It's unbelievable, man. This is like Bachelor's Paradise, yeah. Drum kits, yeah.
I know, we've got drums, we've got everything you need for a little song if you need one too.
I'm ready for it.
Yeah,
I'm ready for it. Thank you.
And I was so pleased because we were talking beforehand, and you reminded me of a band that you were in.
Yeah.
And that was like 90s?
Yeah, 90s? Yeah. So lived in P my whole life, yes. Always had an interest in music. I remember my aunt and uncle playing. They had LPs, you know. Yeah. Oh, and they had the Elton John LP. Ooh. Oh, and Saturday morning was Candle in the Wind, you know. Ben Karma was never the same again with Candles in the Wind. Anyway.
I remember when rock was young.
Yes. And that was sort of music. And I remember us, thinking, wow, want to be musos. My uncle always played music. But we weren't interested in guitars. We were not interested in rock and roll. We were interested in Vanilla Ice. Yes. So we started a rap band.
Oh wow.
Me and my cousin. Wow. So Maurice was part of Illusion that many people remember.
Maurice
van der Merwe. Sadly not with us anymore. Okay. We started a band, and our band was a rap band, and we even played 2 concerts at Westring High School. I was on the keyboard playing Too Legit, and he would be like rapping there. Anyway, we had lots of fun, and then we found this guitar with 2 strings that Uncle Marius had, and I started playing. I said, we should introduce bass guitar into the band. He said, I'm out of the band. You're ruining us. And I said, just give it a chance. And our love for music started, and basically in the midst of high school on my 50cc Yamaha, we'd go play at the Phoenix Hotel every Friday night.
The Phoenix.
The Phoenix Hotel,
The
stage door. We're in the band. I played lead guitar, and my forte, my signature move was the intro to Sweet Child of Mine behind my head on the table. And that's actually where I first came across Gino.
Yes.
The cool, calm collector with these luminous colours
I was.
in the pop shop.
I was there. I'm doing my ABBA clothes on tonight.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, at Pop Shop. I was there and I remember Illusion. I absolutely remember the band. And it's great. You've got to be in a band at some stage.
Oh man!
You know?
Well, I think I was too innocent to understand actually what was going on, because I think there was lots of drugs and prostitution and stuff happening around, and I was this innocent church boy playing in a band, living the dream, standing on the stage, not realizing what was going on.
What did your folks think about that?
No, they thought I was cool. Yeah.
Well, let him go. He'll be all right.
You'll be all right, you know.
He'll be okay,
He's with Uncle Marius,
Yes,
you know. He's with the uncle.
Marius, that's fine.
Yeah, no, listen, those were amazing times. We used to practice in the lounge. This feels like a bit like those practice days. Sitting there, playing in the band, and then we'd come back with new songs. So we did lots of rock. Oh, it was just a wonderful, wonderful time.
Good fun. So you said school. So you brought out in PE, born and bred PE.
Yeah.
Junior school.
The school's so grand, leading forward by the hand to be good citizens of this our land. Well done, Herbert. In fact, listen, Gareth Jacobson, headmaster at VP. You're going to have to get him on. He was in my class.
Yes, I had him on. I mean, he's in the same class.
Yeah, we were in class together.
Oh, what a legend.
Yeah, Mr. Butler was a teacher. Years later, my sister, he's now at Grey. So it's been weird seeing my youngest is at Grey. One child's at VP. Mr. Jacobson's there.
Yes, I know.
Yeah.
It all comes.
It's the great city, people. It's the city of love. Come on.
It is, isn't it? I just love it. And I keep on saying there's so much potential here in PE. We've totally. I mean, I rode around the marine again this morning.
Again,
we do it
on
every
purpose.
Tuesday and Thursday.
Right.
We go around the marina. We call it the Seven Dwarfs time trial. We call it when we chase the tides, and we ride around every like I said, Tuesday and Thursday, and we rode past the manganese dumps, and we were saying, oh man, you know, and the guy was saying that like 1994, there was a poster up there. Said waterfront
removed.
Waterfront.
Yeah, I remember.
Going to be our waterfront. Nothing. Nothing.
Listen, I spent a few years. 94, man.
50 years.
I mean, I lived in Humid with a good mate of mine, Bradley Caroline. We were roommates for a long time in Humid. We used to come out, and our Opel Ascona was like full of black soot, man, sir. We like put your hand on, like, when are these dumps going to move? You know?
No. It's just
the pain.
What is actually going to get them to move, Gareth? What is going to get them to? Is it going to have to be the public that get together and chain themselves to the things?
Yeah, I know 7 cyclists who are cycling every Tuesday morning, wasting their time there. So maybe they can do something about it. You know, I think they should do something. Look, it's gonna happen. Hopefully, we'll see a big change come 29 May, people.
Yeah, is that? Yes, yeah.
Okay, yeah. Anyway, let's
see the elections. Yeah.
No, listen, we're not really determining ourselves and our happiness by the state of our city. I think we've long moved on from that. So we're going to keep on going, but it would be a lacquer thing, hey? Wouldn't it be lacquer?
Amazing.
I mean, my wife and I, we love going on dates to Harbour Master. Shout out to Jurgen. I mean, you go to that place, you see the possibilities down there. I mean, it's just a special. We live in a special place, man, sir. It's special.
So many. I mean, look, there's the MBDA is doing a great job. If we can get, if they can just not be hamstrung. It's like that whole Bay World complex. I was talking to somebody the other day about the Bay World complex. That looks amazing. That building,
the potential, potential.
And I think that is on its way. So I'm hoping that's going to happen.
No, we all believe, but we're not waiting and letting our lives sit on at the bus stop, or cycling around every Tuesday. We are continuing with our lives, means sir. All right, go Warriors.
That's it. And okay, so in high school.
Okay, great. Okay, so first,
yes, okay,
Queen's College.
Oh, Oh, wow.
No, I don't.
Okay, so you went from Herbert Hare to Queen's College.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that. Yeah. Now, listen, my dad got a transfer. We moved across there. Queenstown, yeah. At that stage, it was a time when Robbie Kempson was in matric and I was in standard 6, and the matrics were allowed to beat up the standard 6s.
Okay,
so it wasn't the most pleasant time of the life, Yes. Jacks, that's why I'm not sitting too hard on the seat, It was a painful memory. But yeah, my grandfather passed. We ended up moving back to P, and I went back to Alexander Road High School where all my mates were.
All right.
And so I'm an old Alex boy. We've got how you can see it, eh? The looks, or what is
Alex boy,
just the smoothness, eh? The heart. It's the heart. And
Peter Manser.
Peter Manser, in fact, was not there. Dr. Ilsley, Dr. Jeff Ilsley was actually, he was my maths higher grade teacher. And then of course, when we left, soon after that, Peter Manser came back to Alex and carried on. But 30 years for us this year. Reunion. Yeah. Don't worry about the grey. It's spray on. It's very fashionable.
What
now,
year did you matriculate?
94.
94.
30-year reunion. Eh? Come on.
Married in 94. I could be your father, Gareth Burley.
Yes, now I'm feeling sore again down here. I'm feeling sore again. I'm just sitting here gently.
So then. And after school,
so obviously, so finished Alex. And interestingly, of course, at that time, I decided my life changed around quite a bit. I got out of the band with all its drugs and prostitution that I didn't know about.
You were still playing matric
I was in matric in the band.
Okay. Right.
And then like any good matric boy, I got involved in church because of girls, it's a good place to meet girls. And of course, I started going to church, and actually I went there for the girls, but I found something else at that time. And I made quite a big decision in my life then to sort of come out of the Friday night prostitution and gangs that I wasn't aware of. And I say that because, a lot of my mates who stayed in that, their lives really unraveled, and they got into all sorts of things. But I was fortunate enough to have some really lacquer oaks who supported me. And actually, you won't believe it, I went to Bible school the next year. I went to Word of Faith Bible School in PE. These guys came to our school. I went from Phoenix Hotel on Friday nights to Word of Faith Bible School. Jimmy Crompton, who sadly passed away. And I had an amazing time. It was just, I learned a whole new world, and everything was happening around us. Jimmy Crompton was like a radical guy,
You certainly built that church. When did Word of Faith start?
It was early in the 90s. Look, they were in that Afrikaans church there in Harold Street in Charlotte for a PKTQC thing. And then, of course,
opposite the Italian place.
That's it, yeah. And we Oasis meets, I think, of it now. And went to Word of Faith Bible College. And I had the absolute time of my life, still meeting girls, obviously, as guys want to do. And from there, actually met some amazing. That year, I just threw myself into it, and I just did tons of camps, youth camp. It was such a lack of time. Back then, we didn't have health and safety and rules, and we would take young people out Friday nights. We'd go for a weekend. Some K. We'd go raid other church youth groups, obviously to meet girls, obviously.
Yes. A lot of, I remember this, it was the Some K camps at Clarendon Park we used to go. Yeah. It's Friday night guild or whatever it was at the Woman Methodist.
Youth.
Youth, it was like a youth bar club. Everybody used to go to meet everybody there as well. And then we used to have a camp every now and again out at Some K. Such fun, man.
Listen, we had some wild times out there, because in those days we used at Red House, which is sadly closed. Unfortunately, the times have changed a little bit. But in those days, when we used to go out there, have these camps, and then if we weren't on the camp, the guys would come out and raid us. You'd wake up in the middle of the night, and it'd be like shaving cream all over your face. I remember calling the police once on a whole bunch of guys. Fuzz and Mike and them, and the police got them in the bush. They caught them.
Oh, no.
It was like wonderful time. Anyway, but I think about all the young people. Just wish they could have had those times. Mike saying they're the prettiest girls used to go to youth. We know what you're saying, right?
Yeah, right,
Mike. It was just fantastic times. We were just around solid, amazing people. Those people are good friends today. And
still today.
And they still got those same values of building family life. And now we've all got kids, and we're raising kids together in this amazing city. It was fantastic times.
It's good. Let's have a look at some of these comments. See, Brendan Kelly. Gents, you should be another interesting show with another petrol head. Yes. And we're going to talk petrol heads now. We don't worry, we'll get to it, Brennan. So hang fire there because Taryn Ferreira, how's it go, Gareth?
Yeah.
Taryn,
Hi, Darren.
And then Camilla Ellis. There we go. 4th of May.
A regular. Yeah.
She's a regular, proper.
A regular.
Go Gareth. Kels Wilson saying, how's it?
That's
Hello,
my sister.
Kels.
That's my sister at Nashua. Yeah, from the Nashua team.
Nashua. I've done some gigs for them
Yeah,
as
they
well.
save you time. They save you money.
Were you there at those gigs that I did there?
Yeah, definitely.
Kels?
Girls. Yeah.
And then, I see a fellow entrepreneur says there.
Looking solid. Thanks, Mike.
Exporters easy.
Yeah.
And I was talking to this morning. That's exactly why I remembered that, because I was talking to Marius and he said he was on a team with you with a couple of people called Nelson Mandela Bay, Build Nelson Mandela Bay or something. And they were looking at
Project Nelson Mandela Bay. Project Nelson Mandela Bay. Yeah.
Yes.
That was now with my green hat on. Well, not my green jersey. That was through the renewable energy and the solar thing. So Michelle Brown and a whole bunch of people put together and said, how can we make this city just an amazing time?
Yes. 12 different events on 12 months.
That's right. Yeah. And so I was part of this team that was going to look at making this a green city. Zero carbons and all of these things, no emissions by the year 2050, electric vehicles and breathing through all. Yeah, so it's a bit far out there, It does get carried away, but I'm very passionate. I think it's part of my values is this whole thing about sustainability. You live here on the valley and being able to be part of this beautiful city, but we've got to look after it, man.
For sure.
I'm tired of the smell of Omo coming down the Barkins Valley. I want to enjoy the smell of otter.
Yes,
feces, proper things, like real things.
Yeah, and so because he was talking about, it's interesting that there was a lot of work done on that project as well. I think, he's on. I think he's on the spatial side. He's doing housing and stuff, and there was a lot of even some architectural stuff and
restoring old buildings and keeping the story. I mean, our focus was really about saying we're a green city, but there is so much green stuff happening because you tend to let's make ourselves a green city. Now, what does that mean? But then when you meet the people across the city, you're doing stuff. Recently we moved into the Mangle Park area, and my son and I have been riding through there. And every time we drive there, we meet this couple. They're like, "What do you guys do?" They're picking up rubbish. I'm like, "Is this what? This is our date. This is what we do together. We clean up the Barkins, and they do that every couple of days, and you're just like, man, there's a lot of stuff happening. I'm not one to put big labels to things and say, we're now going to be the biggest band in the world. No, man, just if you're going to be the biggest band, do what you want, and if it works out, it's fine. I think that's the same thing with this greening thing, man. If every one of us can just look after our backyard, cut the grass, pick up the litter in front of your house, then you've got to
clean up your area.
Clean up your area.
Do what you can do. But I was actually encouraged to hear that there was these projects were kind of happening, and
there's so much good
people
there.
Are trying,
listen, shout out to WESA, Wildlife and Environmental Society of South Africa. They're cleaning up beaches. They're cutting alien vegetation there. Sardinia Bay. Sardinia Bay is looking beautiful. You go park there. And WESA are out there cleaning, cutting trees.
I must talk to
you
them as well.
Gary Kukumur and
Is it Gary Kukumur?
And Kevin and the team. I mean, they've got a whole amazing group of people who are taking care of our city, man. It's just amazing, So again, it's not. We don't have to come up with these crazy strategies. I mean, why not? It's for fun, But there are people doing stuff. Champion them, man. Champion what these guys
and help where you can.
Absolutely.
And then, so getting into the
Bible college,
Bible college, and then you were going to the priesthood, obviously.
Yes, I became a priesthood. I don't know what that is. So I went to Bible college, did all these camps, had loads of fun, and then met an amazing crowd at a Methodist church. I mean, I've been all over the place here now, and met an amazing crowd at Hubert Methodist. Ethel Emmett was the honourable there, and they said to me, I did a camp for them. They said, "Hey, why don't you come and join us? Come and run the youth." And I was like, I don't know what that looks like or means, but that sounds awesome, fun. Man. And I joined. Made 777 rand a month.
A month.
It paid my rent. It paid my rent.
Really,
It wasn't that long ago, by the way. I'm not giving age away.
And 700 rand. I think it was a long time ago.
Yeah, I had a wonderful time. Painted my car full of flowers, drove around with Summerstrand. We made such a network of churches there, and we used to. Yeah, we basically made this. It wasn't what I was very passionate about from coming from all these churches. Was like, why have these denominations individually? Let's just all be part of one like awesome gang, you know. So it was us at the Methodist. Then there was the Baptist. Summerstrand Baptist was huge back then.
Okay.
And there's Anglican, there was Afrikaans, and we became this big group of young people. And we used to do so much stuff together. We ran holiday clubs for the youngest kids. We played soccer out of our ears. You know, we ran along the beach. It was our gang.
It's always a case of getting in touch with the people around your communities, you know, and anything that is common. You know, you can hook up and link up, and then all of a sudden becomes a very much bigger thing. You know.
Yeah, and the schools, Pearson and Summerwood in the area, were like, "Can you guys come and help us?" They recognized there was this great thing happening. It was a wonderful time. You would Methodist,
Eminem Child at the time as well.
We're going to tell that story.
And I mean, I know Brad and Darren were very involved with the church. We used to play at a lot of churches, but there was a groundswell happening at that time. You know?
Man, we used to take the young people from like Friday night youth rallies, from Newton Park car park to Westway Bethel, right up there. You know, it was bloody far from Newwood. You know, my car hardly made it, and back. You know, we used to travel all over and go to all these things. And there was Eminent Child, you know, and what's the other one? Langbutter. Langbutter, man.
It's like an alternative metal sort of vibe.
We used to stage dive at those concerts. Remember, we used to stage dive. And there was Gino on the drum. It was just incredible.
It was, and I remember we were talking about a concert that we had with Langbutter actually organised. That was their story, and they did a 6th Avenue car park in Warmer here. The 6th Avenue that whole car park was packed
with young people.
Yeah.
You just think about it nowadays with all the security and safety. Back then in the 90s, and we'd like pile as many kids as we could into the car, take them to these events, and then go back afterwards. And we're like, I'm sure I had 12. There's only 11. And then we'd have to go back and fetch kids, you know? And moms would we didn't even have cell phones. We didn't have nothing. So it was like, I think I'm here to fetch John. He's here. I'm like, he's coming now. Get John. I mean, it was just an amazing time. And the young people felt like they belonged. You know, that was their big thing. They didn't have a place of belonging. And this was their thing. And it was all inter-church. It was just
it was kind of a safe space as well.
Amazing time.
And I loved that concert.
I just one really fun memory. It got a little out of hand. I mean, I'm so grateful to the Lord that we didn't lose lives during that time. Because we got a bit rough at times, you know. Like seeing if we could ollie off the roof at Summerstrand Baptist. On
skateboards.
Man, cool. And one holiday club, we were at Summerstrand Baptist, and Westway Bethel guys rocked up with fire extinguishers, put the fire extinguisher into where the boys were sleeping. I was up I was up early in the morning, and I was so tired. Where are these guys? They're like, no, they're in a hospital. Like, what is it? No, they're in a hospital where the Westway Bethel put the fire extinguisher. So 4 of my 8 leaders were in a hospital recovering from. I mean, it sounds hectic now, but it was amazing. I mean, we look back and we tell these stories of those times. It was just incredible.
That's it's what's it? Powder inhalation.
Powder inhalation. Somehow we survived. We didn't die. Somehow we didn't die.
Jacques Arendt. Here we go. Never met Gareth. Jacques, I've got to have you on the show as well.
Absolutely.
Listen on Kingfisher, and so are you, Jacques.
Yeah,
and we've got to have you on the show too. Sean Sullivan, good evening. Good evening, Sean. Fantastic to have you on too. Guys, not just my alter ego, but also a great MC, a lovely human being, a true gentleman with a touch of class.
That's too much.
Silver Fox.
How dare you?
How very dare you?
Okay, sorry,
Yes, my bad.
It's spray on, Francois. It's spray on. I went to listen. One of the things that happens.
Stories.
Vicky. Vicky. One of the stories was through being on radio. You know, you sort of meet so many people in the community, and one of the things that I did through Kingfisher FM was the ladies like to have their hair done, so they'd always look for a hair sponsor. You know, and for us, it's like I just take clippers and you know, you look photos of me just like number 2, you know, in the garden, and just leave the hair there; it'll disintegrate. You know? Anyway, so once we got bigger,
Yes.
then we had a connection with Bliss.
Oh, yes,
And they
yes,
said,
yes.
you've got to go to Bliss and
Sarah.
try it out. This was hilarious. So we've got to go to Bliss and try it out. I'm like, this is not really a hair salon guy, but okay, I'll, yes,
Yeah,
boss, I'll go.
Okay, yeah.
Anyways, I rock up there and, sit there in my chair now, Kingfisher. I'll still tell the story. I got into radio. I'm sitting there, and then here comes this young lady now, who's not wearing a lot of clothes, it must be said. And she was in my youth group when she was 10. And all of a sudden, she felt awkward. Like she realized, I'm not wearing enough clothes, and the dominee is here. Anyway, so that
Now
was...
she's going to massage your head.
Yeah, so she's like... Anyway, we got over that awkwardness,
Okay, all right.
and then you have your funny massage and all of that stuff.
Yes.
And then, so anyway, we're sitting there now, and now she's cutting. And so I said to her, listen, she says, what do you want to do? I said, just cut as much grey off as you can, She says, wow, all the women are coming in here and paying to have grey hair put in, And I said, let them take it,
Yeah.
But I'll never forget that one moment. This is a weird thing for men,
Yeah.
So as we're getting towards the end of the haircut, we're chatting and catching up, and the awkwardness is changing. I see the awkwardness start picking up again.
Yeah.
I'm like, what's going on here? And then she leans over and she says, do you mind if I trim your eyebrows? I've never had that. I'm like, okay, what do I do? She's just sit still. And then she goes, and then, I said to her, I've never had a woman touch my eyebrows before, Yes, it was a funny time. And just interestingly, Cameron from Yo Media was there that day, crying around the corner because he was having his hair done, and they put the cellophane so tight in his hair, the smoke coming out on the top. What an experience, eh?
No,
Going to my first hair
No,
salon.
Bliss, it was Sarah.
Great
I
times,
think
eh?
Sarah Wills.
Sarah, yeah.
Sarah Wills was there
Wonderful.
at the time.
Amazing
I think
people.
they've got new owners now. I haven't been there
Amazing.
for a while, but also another business in town. I always say we've got to try and support local businesses.
Amazing people.
Don't let your money go
Elsewhere.
out of the
Please
country.
keep it here, man. So keep it here.
And then radio. How did you get into radio?
So just quickly,
did you study it all in?
Yeah, so obviously I went to Bible college, then I went full time into sort of being a youth pastor while studying.
Okay.
Then I took a break from it, interestingly, and I sort of like got really committed and involved and dived into it and burned myself out a little bit. Needed a bit of a break in the midst of while I was trying to find out what's next for me. And a good friend of mine, Rob Verena, now people know that name because Alan Verena was the Western Methodist Germany for years and still involved in the city. Anyway, his oldest son had Bay Photographics.
Okay.
And he said to me, hey, Gareth, why don't you come work for me for a bit? And he trained me to be a darkroom printer before it was digital. Yeah. So I did photography and then he taught me wedding. But interestingly, he said to me, Gareth, you can work for me, but you have to do two things. One is you have to play golf with me.
Okay.
And I said to him, well, I don't play golf.
Yeah.
You know me now. I'm mad about golf. And the second he says you have to watch every Formula One race this season with me. And I wasn't a sports guy at that stage. Yeah. And he got me into Formula One. We'd sit there in his house.
Magic.
Massive TV, telemetry on the screens in front of us.
Yes.
And I got addicted to Michael Schumacher, Ferrari, and Formula One.
Wow.
Anyway, that was my Bay Photographics day. Went back into full-time ministry at Fountain Vineyard. And golf.
I mean, this man's a great golfer, let me tell you.
Yeah, so I love my golf. And then basically went into full-time ministry at Fountain Vineyard. There's just jump ahead 2008. Again, came to a time in my life. My wife had second child, and so needed a change. And funny enough, in the midst of all of that, I started studying mechanical engineering.
Jeez.
Hey?
Okay.
I'm like, what should I do?
What makes you think?
Mechanical.
How did you get into that?
My grandfather was the chief mechanic for the Apple Express.
Oh, wow.
All those years. And I never really knew much about it until years later when he retired. Yeah. All these memories came out of him and these awards and stuff. My father was an engineer. So I had this fascination with how things worked, maybe from like a spiritual side to like now a more practical side,
Yeah.
And anyway, I started studying that, worked incredible. I worked for a company called EB Steam, and I studied thermodynamics. I mean, who would have thought at 30 that you could do calculus? But I loved it, man. I was like, come on, look at this brain. Let's go. Did a bit of that, did a bit of earth moving and mechanics. So I studied a little bit of earth moving equipment. And then basically how I got into radio was a week before the Soccer World Cup in 2010, Mensa, a week before the Soccer World Cup, I was in my company car, on my way down to deal party in a company called Reclamation Group. They like reclaim metals.
Yes.
And on the way down there in my car, and tuned into Kingfisher FM.
Yeah.
Now, I'd never thought of Kingfisher FM before that, except that it started when I was in matric, 1994.
Okay.
And my late grandmother said to me, this is my great mother, my mom's mom, said to me, you could do well on radio. You should try for Kingfisher FM. I'll never forget my grandmother said, and I said, I'm not a radio person. I don't know. Anyway, years later, 2010, in the car, driving down to work, Kingfisher FM's on the radio. And a lady by the name of Shelley was on the radio. And she said, Rafael Benitez has been sacked from Liverpool following a string of bad results. And I was like, that's 6 months old, that news. Community radio. So I knew Shelley. I'm like, from church days. I was like, Shelley, I don't know where you got that story from, but it's like 6 months old. He's actually coach of Real Madrid, blah, 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 blah. I corrected her, Anyway, she said, I'll message you after the show.
Yeah.
Anyway, she phoned me later. Gareth, we need a sports presenter, please. And I said, no. I'm not a radio guy.
Oh, no.
I'm an engineer.
Yeah.
I'm a serious guy now. And like a true Christian, she said, listen, we'll give you media accreditation and free tickets to the World Cup if you do our soccer news.
Oh,
I'm like, let me think. Yes.
Oh, I'm in the game.
And the funny thing was, my wife and I went to watch those matches, and we sat behind Paris Hilton in the semi-final.
No way.
Just because I said yes. We sat behind Paris Hilton, and we saw Brazil and Netherlands play at our stadium. And then basically that's how I got into Kingfisher. And I used to sit in my car, dropping my kids at school, at first with a laptop open by the car and find a place, normally First Avenue Newton Park, pull off at Newton Tech in the car.
Yes.
The kids were like checking me while I was dropping my grade 1 and 2 daughter at collegiate. And then they'd phone me like, in this news bulletin, Rafael Benitez, and I'd do the news.
On the phone.
And eventually I didn't need the laptop. And by the end of the year, they said, Gareth, come on, man, you're a radio guy, join us. I'm like, no, man, I'm an engineer. I'm a mechanic, man. And I remember they nagged and nagged like good Christians do. I nagged and Bible bashed me. And eventually, I'll never forget. This is great stories. I was lying under an excavator at Reclamation Group taking out a gearbox. Oh. So, and I don't know if you know, those gearboxes, their oil, those diesel, it's putrid. It stinks, man. I was under this gearbox, and my phone rang. I had a little Nokia, small one, not a flippy one, because I was full of engineering. I was an engineer, man. Yes. And they said, Gareth, it's your last chance. And I was like, and I thought about that story in the Bible about the guy in the pig land, full of pig stuff, And I was like, and I thought, and something in my head was like, take a chance, Gareth, take a chance. In Gino's voice, And I was like, okay, I'll do it. Yeah. And it was amazing. I said it, and I felt like it was the right decision. Okay. And by the 1st of February, I was on radio. And on my first few days of radio, I thought, there's no ways I can do this. Yeah. It is so hectic. There is so much stuff coming at me.
It's relentless.
It's relentless.
Every day.
I did the Cassie's Lacquer Lunch for a year. The Cassie's Lacquer Lunch. And
Cassie's,
Cassie's, yeah.
Cassie's pies.
Listen, I've got some stories.
And those guys.
Yeah, in those days, listen to this. We had 2 CD players. And the producer gave me a pile of CDs with on a piece of paper on each one, number 6 on this, number 5 on that one. And then you'd get the next CD ready, push play and pause. Yes, and then you'd blend channel A and B.
Line it up. Oh,
and that's how that was my first experience of radio. And it was hectic. And then I just loved it. And I got a bit too confident. And I just started interviewing anybody. So I'd get a press release. From Cricket South Africa. I'm like, ooh, can I get an interview with Hashim Amla? Yeah. And then they'd be like, yeah, sure. And there, in my first year of radio, I interviewed Hashim Amla.
Yeah, jeez.
But my best story, I'm going to tell stories. My best story was, NMU said, Sir David Attenborough is in town.
Wow.
Receiving an honorary doctorate.
Oh.
Here's the press release. And I was like, cheeky Gareth, can I get an interview? The lady phoned me back from NMU, says, listen, you can't come to the studio, but why don't you come to his hotel room after you're shown you can interview him? Gino, Sir David Attenborough. I was like, get in there. Beach hotel on the door. Listen, the lady let me in. I sat in his lounge. He came out the shower with a towel around. So David Attenborough. I saw David Attenborough's boobs. Okay? Hey? I saw David Attenborough's boobs.
My word.
And
in the wild.
The two were right there.
They were walking
and
around.
He said to me, should we do it like this, or would you like me to change? And I said to him, I'd like you to change. And I sat there and I interviewed Sir David Attenborough, and I've got a photo of that. I've still got a recording of the interview, and that's I was addicted.
Yeah.
I just wanted to interview people, and that's 15 years later. I'm still doing it.
And did you ever have a hectic one? Interviews, stories.
Yeah, look, so
it went wrong.
Yeah, look. The big thing is it's a Christian radio. I don't want people to swear.
Yeah.
So that's the big thing. So I've managed to contain that quite well with humor.
Yes.
So I've kept that. But I've had two really embarrassing moments. Two really bad ones. So in the early days when Kingfisher FM was in Newton Street, my producer phoned me and said, "Listen, I've got a very special guest. It's last minute," and I didn't mind lastminute.com stuff. So I'm like, "Oh, cool, go."
Brilliant.
So in those days, we had a big window outside the studio, and she said, "Look," she messaged me. She messaged me and said, "Listen, I've got a big guest coming that's flown in town. Can you quickly squeeze her in?" I'm like, "Yeah, cool. Bring." And when she comes to the window, she says, "Are you ready?" I said, 5 minutes. I'm like, "What's going on here?"
Yeah.
Gino, she opens the door, and in walks Melinda Bam, Miss South Africa.
Oh my word!
Like the most perfect Barbie doll woman in the world.
Yeah.
She walks in like there, and I'm like,
dumbstruck. I don't know who it was.
And she says, "It's Melinda Bam in South Africa. Just talk about Reach for a Dream. Just tell about what she's doing here." And I'm like,
Okay.
It closes the door, and it's me and Miss South Africa. Yeah. And there was the one moment where it hit me, like I'm live on radio with Miss South Africa.
Yeah.
And the beauty was just a bit like, and the smell like of fudge and vanilla strawberries from the valleys of the Himalayan. And I was just taking a Gino, and I stood there and I said, "Okay, we're going to go on now." And Gino, I said,
"Oh no!"
I said, "Ladies and gentlemen, Miss South Africa, Melissa Bam."
Oh dear.
And she said, "Sorry, it's Melinda."
Oh dear.
Just eat me, Lord. Just take me away.
Melissa Bam.
Melissa Bam, eh?
Oh well.
That was the one. And then just more recently, we've moved studios a little bit.
Yeah.
So we've had a couple of changes, and we've really settled amazing in our Kingfisher FM corner of Ring Street in Park Drive. Beautiful studios, 2 million rand studios. Amazing story.
It was the big poster was up there.
That's right. We're on the top. But in our previous studios, Kubi gave us a house to use in Main Road, Walmer. It's a big, amazing story.
It was Kubi's place. Okay.
It was Kubi's place. He lent it to us, used it for a little bit.
Yeah.
And man. And so we were there, and I had the lady from the National Blood Service coming in. Now, we just moved in, and all the wires were loose. So it was a bit awkward. Now,
it wasn't Darren Fuller. Was it Darren Fuller?
I'm not saying anything. Anyway, so the studio's over there. Now listen to this. We're busy there now, going.
Yeah.
And we're doing this interview. Now, I'm coming towards the end of the interview. I'm coming in for this awesome landing, great interview. Yeah. And I reach for my mouse to get it ready for the next song, and I've lost my mouse. Oh. Okay, I've lost the mouse to push play.
Battery's gone.
No, it's cabled. Oh, so it's cabled there through the desk, under the ground, through the roof, through the whole Walmer Park shopping centre into the server room. You know, it's such a story.
Yeah.
Anyway, the wisdom of God somehow came over me in that moment and said, "Look under the table." Yeah. And I just looked under there, and I could see she'd kicked, swinging her feet, had kicked out one of the connections. Gino, this is it now. Eh? I'm about to come in the land. I can't get the mouse. The table's here. Christian radio, South African National Blood Service. And I said to her, I'm like, "How did you actually get into this whole blood thing?"
Good. Well, Darren, if it was Darren, she would have been fine.
A Christian radio guy, like, plug it in, and I'm like, "Well, thanks so much for that interview. Hey, really great." And we put the mics off. She's like, "What the hell are you doing?" I'm like, "You kicked out my mouse." Oh, I was so embarrassed. It was terrible. But it was, we laughed. We still laugh about it.
And you know, and especially live, anything can go wrong. I mean, I've had one of my favorites was Chef Ralph.
Yeah.
And Ralph Goshawk, where our connection went down and we left him alone. Because he was on
there while you carried on sorting out.
Online, and I disappeared. And he was there. Hello. His German accent, you know, he was like, "Well, this don't know where Gino is, but but let's check out. Oh, hello, there's somebody on the comments, man. You know." So,
wow. That's it. I think people often say, "How do you do it? You know, how do you stay on radio?" I think I enjoy the crisis of it.
Yes.
I enjoy that, you know.
The stress,
And thinking of your feet. I think you've got to do that. I love it.
Well, your
I love
MC, I can see you're
Yes.
such a pro MC.
Yeah,
I've got to
thanks.
say. I mean, it's a wonder how you do that stuff.
Yeah.
And I mean, I know I do a lot of this stuff myself, but I'm often in character. I'm often in,
Yeah.
you know, I can hide behind the character a bit.
Yeah.
But
No, you
you
can't.
know, you can't really. You can't
Yeah.
really. And so, and I mean, you do a lot of MC stuff as well.
Yeah,
So
listen, I did 68 events last year, MC.
Yeah.
And I look back and I think, how did that work out? You know, but I think it's a testament to like amazing people. Mark Zoetmolder, Z Sports, you've had Chris Alinsky, Bigger Sports, mountain events. I'm doing a lot of corporate stuff these days. Last week I had 2 events, Exporter of the Year, launch we did.
Okay.
I'm doing lots of golf days. I love golf. So
Yeah.
golf days is a great, easy fit.
We've won the Elson Golf Day, I think.
I won the Elson
Yeah,
Golf
you
Day,
did,
yeah.
He did.
And
That's coming up now as well.
May.
May.
It's beautiful Humid. Humid's my course. I'm a sort of an ambassador for Humid.
Okay, wow.
So I love Humid. Spend a lot of time there if I can with my boy, my 8-year-old son who plays golf as well.
Yes.
So I think the gigs, the emceeing has come, and I've got to say thanks to someone like Mark Zoetmolder. Actually,
Yeah.
he got me actually into it because when I started on radio in the first year, 2011. And there was a media contract with Kingfisher FM, and all the presenters had a chance to do Ocean Racing Series on Sunday.
Okay.
And I did it once, and then the other presenters did it. And at the end of the season, Mike came to me and said, Gareth, can't you just do the MC?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. I'll pay you. I'm like, cool. Yeah,
Okay,
let's go.
right.
Christian, woo, let's go.
Excellent.
Money. And
Yeah.
and that's where it started. And it's just grown and grown.
Brilliant
Yeah.
guy, Mike, and I think he
Yeah.
probably got me
Wow.
into that as well. If I think about it,
Through urban runs and those events.
The urban
eh?
run,
Yeah.
man. I used to do the urban run every year. It was
Yeah.
fantastic, and it just
Yeah.
gives you that a bit of confidence, you know. And it's prize giving, and it's thinking on your feet, talking rubbish, and trying to get the crowd interested. You know, that sort of thing.
Yeah, look, 2 years ago, I won this award, Nelson Mandela Bay Business Events, MC of the Month,
Yes, well
or
done.
MC of the Year. And that sort of like catapulted me into some national events. So I started MCing in Johannesburg, which is like another whole
Yeah.
kettle of fish, you know.
Yeah.
So it's a smelly fish up there,
Yes,
you know.
yes,
Down here, it's more of an omo smell, you know.
Yes. It's
So
quite hectic.
it's hectic. So I mean, I've got so many people to thank along the way, and we're doing it. And so I've done over 20 events this year already.
Great. Good.
I'm up to Joburg this weekend, so it's amazing. Really amazing, really blessed. Yeah.
I'm off to where's it? Port Alfred this weekend. We're doing the Mad Hatters.
Yeah, Mad Hatters Golf Tournament, Port Alfred. Yeah.
That's at the golf tournament. We're up there doing
I
that.
played there on Saturday, and they're like, "Oh, welcome to Port Alfred. Are you going to play in the Mad Hatters next week?" In fact, we went to with the family, and we stayed at the Pig and Whistle this weekend. A bucket list thing in Bathurst to go and check it out. So we played golf on Saturday morning at Port Alfred and went there. Just the most amazing people.
Beautiful.
I could just see
Beautiful.
Gino on that stage.
I'm
man.
there like a bear
in the
every
pig.
year.
In the pig.
Gary throws on. I see your eyes there. Gary throws on a question every now and again.
Go. Where's it?
He says there, if you had to be offered a position at I'll Go or 5FM or whatever, would you go
To
there?
take it.
Yeah.
What's the pay? No.
The pay.
No, listen.
No,
So I've been very fortunate to work for a few radio stations. So
Okay,
one of the
okay,
things
yeah.
that I get to do is work for a news agency in Cape Town and work for many community radio stations.
Okay.
So people often
so
like,
you do, you
so
do
people
that.
often say to me, "I heard you in Durban today.
Okay.
How come you're in Durban?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm doing the sports for this radio station."
Coast.
So I'm very. I mean, I've been really blessed to be able to do all these things. But I mean, Kingfisher is just the most privileged place to be. You know, I've got regular guests like Kobe Potgieter coming on. You know, Citywide Security, all these companies that you've interviewed, that you stole from my ideas, obviously. You know, Brendan Kelly was there commenting earlier. He was in Motormouth. He was on the show last week. You know,
Yes.
it's just amazing. You know?
You're doing talking about Motormouth, and Brennan's gonna. I'm sure we're into this. Is that you're doing super sport, but you're doing the motorsport for super sport.
So
That's fantastic.
yeah. So look, I've always loved sport.
Yeah.
But my thing about commentary and sports news that I do with all these guys, I always say, listen, I'm a fan first.
Yeah.
That's the most important thing for me. I'm not like a professional commentator that has had to research. I'm there because I love the sport. I love supporting my teams. Anyway, I've always had a passion for motorsport, and I think it came from the guy who said, "You're working for me if you watch Formula One," you know?
Yes,
so I learned about telemetry and I learned about engineering and all that. So I've always had a thing for motorsport, and I've always interviewed the guys from Motorsport South Africa. So our local guys, Chop Sapuka, Michael Stevens, the Scribantes. I've had them on the studio so many times. I go to track days. They take me around the track. My son has gone in the car with them. So there's all of that foundation.
You've been in Lambos then with the Scribantes.
Yeah. So what a privilege, eh?
Yeah, or what are they? The Audis. I think
the Audis as well. Look, Mike Steven is amazing. I mean, he's mad in the head.
That does that is the engineer.
He's the multiple South African production car champion. Michael Steven. You got to get him in here. I mean, he's the most successful racing driver in South Africa ever. Wow. I mean, and he comes out of the Terry Moss stable. Simon Moss was there. So Mike Steven raced internationally, and he's a PE boy.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, just amazing. You got to get Mike on. Yeah, you got to get Mike on.
You got to do something.
Get Mike on, yeah. So how I got this opportunity was just knowing all these guys and interviewing them. There was a big international event coming to South Africa called the Kyalami 9 Hour. Big international race. Sheldon, Calvin van der Linde, Jordan Pepper in a Bentley. I mean, all these guys in a Bentleys. They all come to South Africa. And anyway, I just thought, let me just do some interviews with these guys, you know?
Yeah.
Listen, Gene, it's just about when the opportunity comes, just take it, go for it, you know?
Do it.
I just felt I must just contact these guys, set up some interviews. This is a big thing for South African motorsport, you know? The rugby, the cricket, the soccer gets all the coverage, but the motorsport. And anyway, I just put my name in the hat and I said, guys, I'm around, just shout, I'll do interviews, whatever. Anyway, next week, get a phone call from the big boss. He says, listen, have you ever done any commentary? I'm like, no. But I'm there. What do you want? I'll pay. I'll come. I'll do it. What do you want me to do? I'll drive. I'm leaving now. Let's go. And he says, look, we're looking for a pit lane commentator who's going to do not the main race, the pit lane support races. I'm like, what's it? Beach buggies. I'm there. We're racing. What do we do? Hey, I'm coming. Anyway, so I'm all in. I'm signed up to come and do some commentary in terms of interviewing drivers after races. They got a team, the international team. They got an international team, they got a local commentary team, and then me's on the side commentary. Cool. I mean, a week before, Gareth, listen. So the main commentary guys, they're not able to do it. Do you mind sitting in the studio, just co-commentating? I'm like, yeah, man.
Co-commentating, yes.
2 days beforehand. Listen, Gareth, you're the only guy. I'm like, okay, so how long is it? Well, it's 9 hours on this Friday and 11 on the Saturday.
Jeez,
so I'm on the TV, and
holy crap!
And I dived into that deep end.
Yeah.
And I learned cars out of. I mean, it was like 7 different categories. I learned cars from that, and then I was just in this deep end on that stage, and I just loved it. I mean, at first, it's like, okay, Gareth, you've got Super Sport in this year. You've got your producer here in this year. You've got 6 cameras, and then you've got telemetry, your camera, and then the live picture. Like, right, turn to camera 7. One, Gareth. Yeah. All right, we're live here now. It was phenomenal. And that's how I got my opportunity.
Okay.
And the next year, no international, only local guys, and I was there local hosting. Fantastic. And then this weekend is round 2 at Swartkops, and I'm going up to do commentary. And loving it.
What time is it on?
So live on Supersport from midday, live from Swartkops, and we're going to be commentating there. South African Endurance Series.
Excellent. Yeah, fantastic.
I mean, just for me.
So F1, you into? I mean, look, this last race.
Yeah.
Tell me your thing on F1, and let's have a quick look at some of these. Let's go. Thanks, Wayne Bolton. Hey,
Mr. Ollie.
Ollie.
Nick Emmett, he was at Humid Methodist with me. My first job. He was back in the Emmett family.
GB.
Yeah. Used to play cricket in the garden. Like, out. It's not out, man. It's out. You're out.
French cricket. Diane.
It's my mom.
There we go, Diane. Your mother.
Biggest fan.
Aren't you just so proud, Diane?
Vicky. So every morning on radio, I do a dad joke after the 8 o'clock news.
Oh, my word.
So Vicky always, what's the joke today? So the joke today is going to be a truck carrying Vicks Vapor Rub crashed on the highway yesterday. There was no casualties, but there was no congestion for about 8 hours. Sorry.
Christopher
Rorik. Chris, local businessman, amazing guy. So this is my solar connection. So we've got put solar up on his house with local stuff. We'll still get to that. We'll still get to that.
Yes, because I was very interested to see when look at mine as well. And
Very interesting.
I'm looking at my panels and thinking I haven't got enough, or I haven't got decent enough panels. Sean Willard.
Sean from Stellenbosch, tuning.
Doing the moi. I
He
haven't
did,
got my cap. I should have put
Yes.
my cap. I've got my cap
so
somewhere.
Sean did a 6-month series with me on radio,
Yes.
and he wrote a book called Have a Life Attack.
Yes.
Sean Willard.
Yes.
That's Mr. Sean Willard.
Oh,
there. And of
man.
course, moi. We had moi on radio.
The barley milk, which I haven't tried yet,
What?
Sean, because I know I've got it in the fridge. I'm keeping it there because I'm waiting for my coffee machine to come back so that I can try out some latte art.
No, you're wasting.
I'm waiting for it. I'm just waiting. I'm not even going to taste it yet. I'm going to do a launch for you. Yeah. I'm telling you, Sean, because it looks great. I love the colors.
It smells like it's been through my cereal, and then that drink afterwards. It's
good.
beautiful.
That's
And it's on our shelves now.
It's barley milk.
Barley
It's
milk.
barley milk.
Yeah, on our shelves. Yeah.
I like it.
Sean.
And it's it's in the spas as well.
Yeah.
Christopher
we said
says,
Chris, yeah.
yes.
Yeah, we
A
got
big
Chris.
hello to you, Christopher.
Mark Telford.
Telford,
Oh,
there we
Mr.
go.
Teletick.
Yes.
Mr. Mark Telford. Yeah. Mark works for me in the solar business. Yeah.
How does he know?
Yeah,
as well?
we'll tell
and
you
of course,
stories.
I know his wife very well. We used to run together. We had a relationship in junior school. You know, we used to run
Tell
together.
me more. Tell me
To
more.
run together.
Does
That
she
was
have a
about
car?
it. Michelle's a honey. I love it to bits. And then Shark says my radio career started at Kingfish in the year 2000.
2000. Really?
Wow, Shark! I didn't know that either.
There's so many people who've had a connection to Kingfish FM. Eh?
Yeah,
Through the years.
plenty,
It's just amazing.
plenty. Cindy Lee Bester, there we go. Cindy,
Two
I
legends.
see Cindy runs with us at Achilles. And Titch Wild, how's it, man? Thank you very much, Titch. Nice to see you.
Look at Dean Allen there. Look at Dean.
it's Dean.
Dean Allen. Look where he's watching from. Look what he says. He's
From
on
the
a
ship.
ship in Sierra Leone.
In Sierra Leone. Good
Dean.
Lord, man, Dean.
He's legend, eh?
You-
Hey,
We're missing him,
representing.
yeah.
Listen, Dean, I was at the Pig and Whistle on Saturday night, and there's your book.
At Bathurst.
The book in Bathurst. It's in the bar.
Excellent.
I got them to pull it down, and I was telling them stories. I said, "Look at Dean Allen's book. You've got to get this book, guys." It was right there in the Pig.
He's got a few books.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah. Very good. The Frontier.
I see Wayne saying, Gareth, you get
Yeah.
so freely with yourself. So I appreciate
Thanks,
coming
Wayne.
to the Rhino Conservation. That's what I mean, Wayne. You do an amazing job there as
Why
well.
the dancer these
And
days?
then here's Taryn Ferreira saying, "It's quite the dancer." Is that what you do now?
Yeah, no. So
What's she referring to?
yeah, so well, a few things. One was that we did a version of the Strictly Come Dancing. You know, this Dancing with the Stars. We did one year. Yeah, it was lots of fun.
Okay.
But lately, we were doing lots of videos of these events that we've been doing. So Big O Sports does a video.
Yes.
And I'd somehow always end up in the dancing
Dancing.
in the video. So I've got like a bit of like moves, you know, because I'm not a good
dancing.
dancer, but I'm always there, you know.
Feel like
Yeah.
dancing.
So it's been lots of fun, yeah.
Such a great issue.
Thank you, Caroline.
Thank you,
Caroline.
And
I'll owe
because
you.
she was involved in the NMB
In the Business Awards.
Business Awards.
Yeah, which is now the Tourism Awards.
Yes,
Brand
yes,
new, eh?
Which
Brand
is really
new.
cool. Caroline,
Really exciting.
love your positive
Thank
energy,
you.
Gary. That's my dear wife. as
Oh,
well.
so lovely.
And,
Thank you.
and yes, we were just going to talk about the F1 because I was.
Yeah.
Do you think that Red Bull is sandbagging? I mean, properly. I think that they're totally slowing down. They're not even going full taps.
Yeah. Because it's so boring in the front.
It's just like, what the hell?
So I get to edit and package like post Formula One races for radio stations. So I get a lot of commentary. So I get to listen to a lot of Max Verstappen whining, you know.
Yes,
and they
yes.
asked him on China, they said, was there anything that didn't go well in the race for you? And he goes, well, I did skid on corner 12, I think on lap 23. I think I had a little skid on the outside. But otherwise it was good, you know.
But do you think it's because of his driving? I mean, he's just so good. I mean,
Yeah.
he is. But there are other good drivers there. I mean, Hamilton's brilliant. I
Yeah.
can't wait until he jumps in a Ferrari.
Yeah. I mean, Fernando Alonso on Sunday with a soft tire,
Wow.
what he could do there is
Yeah.
amazing. So, yeah, I mean, I love motorsport in general. I probably support Formula One the least out of the motorsports. I know that people say motorsport, Formula One, and I've always been a Ferrari guy because when I started, it was Michael Schumacher.
I am glad to
And
hear
I've
this.
had the privilege of going to watch a few races, you know, live, Michael Schumacher and stuff. So that's great. But I must say, that's probably the motorsport that I watch the least. The motorsport that I really like has always been bikes. So
the
MotoGP, World Superbikes, and I love touring cars. I think the World Endurance Series at the moment is, you've got to watch it. I'm trying to get Telford and these guys to watch. That is unbelievable racing and at the top level. I mean, can you imagine 24 hours of Le Mans, man? So 24 hours at 400 k's an hour down the straight, non-stop.
Isn't Roman Grosjean in that whole scene as well? Not
But I like your thinking.
I thought he was.
All the top guys are coming
all
in
of them,
and be part
except
of
him.
No, Sebastian Vettel now is apparently
Vettel.
thinking of racing at Porsche in the 24 hours of Le Mans.
They're talking about bringing him back to F1 next year.
But listen, Formula One it's if you make it about who's winning, then you just get the telemetry. That's what, if you really want to enjoy it, get the telemetry and learn about that side of things. But Red Bull, brilliant. The rules will change and someone else will dominate. But that's Formula One. You're not going to change that. But I enjoy the other racing.
Such a long time to wait for Audi to come in there and Hamilton to move to Ferrari. It's like 2026 or something.
Wasn't it wonderful when his engine didn't work in Australia?
His brakes went.
It's great for the competition. But I love racing. And I mean, just Brad Binder, what he does for South Africa. Sheldon van der Linde, German touring car starting this weekend. German touring car, Sheldon van der Linde, come on.
Sheldon, is he a South African guy?
South African, he won not last year, the year before. He's a world champion in German touring cars. He's a South African. Rushay Woodley, the young Rushay Woodley, the youngster from, this amazing star. He's now going to be in Moto3 probably next year. A young South African in Moto3. Darren Binder, Brad Binder.
Oh, sorry. I know, and the local guys. I know Brendan does a lot of the commentary as well. Yeah. And also, I know there's who's that voice? The voice guy.
The voice, that's it. Yeah. I'll tell you now. It'll come to me.
Yes.
So
Brendan will know. Brendan knows as well. Yeah, you recognize his voice every time.
That's it. The voice. Yeah. So I mean, we live in a city that's got great motorsport. Scribanti racetrack. I love going to the go-kart track. Yeah. And we had the VW Rally here for years. Yeah. I used to take my two daughters. They were like 2 and 4 with Dad into the Longwall Forest. And let's go find Jan Habich coming through on a VW. Plonk them down with umbrellas, earphones on, and then they come to the forest.
Rally is insane.
Yeah, that's.
Have you ever done rally?
Have you
ridden with it?
Yeah, so Guga Zulu. So Guga Zulu, we missed that oak so much.
Yes.
So he often used to take me to the forest.
Wow.
Yeah, and he'd give me the pace notes.
No.
He'd give me the pace notes. He said, Gareth, are you ready? We're going to do this next little section. Go. And then you'd be like,
right,
left 3. And he's like, Gareth, I'm past it. Right 4. Gareth, that was lost.
Right 7.
Those guys are insane.
It's a number for the corner.
How much corner it is, how steep it is.
Left 5. It's going to be sharper or something. So you got to have that, and they are so quick. Yeah. No, and then you've got a rider going flat out next to you, and you trying to tell him where to go.
Yeah.
It's like,
and we've got such strong motorsport here. Such an amazing history and story. So please. And just a shout out, the oval track racing, the dirt oval track racing. If you've never been there,
yes.
Please go.
I see.
Please go. Are we dead or are we?
I don't know if we're going to connect the phone quickly as well. There we go. We're back. We're back on. We're in a quick break. I think.
Quick break. Yeah.
It's only a
pit stop. A quick pit stop.
Yeah. So you were talking about the round, not victory, the other one.
So I mean, when we were kids on our 50cc motorbike, when we weren't playing in the band on Friday night, on Saturday night we were down at the showgrounds with our 50cc, and we'd go watch these guys go around the track at showgrounds, stock cars, man.
Stock car racing.
Yeah, Brendan reminded me it's not stock cars anymore. It's now dirt track oval racing, far more sophisticated.
Very good.
Yeah, and that's amazing. So it's always been strong. Yeah,
you said which is the circular one?
Victory Raceway out in Warmer. So people are like, that's a dangerous area. No, man, it's amazing. Yeah. It's really well looked after. And then you've got out at Mission Road. You've got another track.
Yes, Mission Road is the one that I haven't been to yet. That I believe it's
a little bit rougher. Yeah.
Okay.
So bring your extra teeth with you and then go for it, man. So gooi hom, stick it.
It's fun. It's fun. And when you're there, the power in those
man.
engines.
The noise.
The noise is insane.
Like, we don't need an exhaust. We're going to cut it off here at the
chop
engine.
it off, man.
Louder and noisier. It's
Louder the
wonderful.
better.
Yeah, I love it.
Love it.
Love it.
Okay, so yeah, so this is the whole motorsport thing happening as well.
Motorsport happening, yeah. In the
And
midst of it.
then your radio, your now it's super sport now as well. You go
Yeah,
to
so
Joburg.
off to Joburg.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
And then what else? What
Solar.
is and then the solar.
Yeah, then there's solar.
Is
Yeah.
probably the one that's the most
Calmest and normal.
calmest and been going for the longest.
Well, yeah,
When did you start?
Well, yeah, the thing is, through radio, I met amazing people. You know, that's really the key. We're Kingfisher and that connection with people in the community, and that's my advice to entrepreneurs: is stay connected. You know, don't make your circle too tight. You know, that you're only with the same people all the time. Just meet as many people, connect, and through them, I interviewed amazing people over the years, and that's where I got into the energy thing. While I was studying engineering, I met some amazing people. One of them was Professor L.J. Krobler, one of the most esteemed energy engineers in the world at Port University. And I interviewed him. I interviewed him on radio about the energy crisis back then in 2011, 2012.
Wow.
And he said to me after the interview, he said, Gareth, you have an engineering insight and interest, and you can talk in front of people. He says, that's a rare thing. You should make a career out of that. I'm like, what are you saying? He says, no, well, engineers tend to be quite monotone and not much there.
They are.
He says, but you can try and help people understand energy and how much they're wasting or how to use it. And I sort of caught it, and he offered me a job.
Wow.
And at that time, he was running the South African Association of Energy Efficiency.
Okay.
And we started a radio show together called The Green Hour.
Yeah.
And in 2011, and to this day, I'll still do it. Tomorrow morning, I've got the Wilderness Foundation joining me on the Green Hour.
Oh, is that Andrew Muir?
Andrew Muir, but I don't have Andrew tomorrow. I've got his youth development team joining tomorrow.
Brilliant.
8 to 9. And and we started the Green Hour. And then we won the ESCOM Eater Award for awareness. We won a whole award. My wife and I went up, we received this award. And anyway, this was this whole thing happening of this renewable energy. And through it, I studied energy management. I studied renewable energy. And through that, I continued to interview people, and I interviewed local companies, Green Overall, Front and Eastern, Jock Engelbrecht, and QDM. And then I met Jimmy Catt. Yeah. Jimmy Catt, father of Michael Catt, rugby player.
Yes.
Don't mention John and Homer, please. Don't mention.
And his wife is the teacher at Collegiate.
Anne Catt. A collegiate musical named Anne Catt. Jimmy Catt started this company called Microcare, manufacturing electronics. 1990. Solar wasn't even a thing back then, you know? Yeah. And they started manufacturing these things. But in 2011, 12, I interviewed them, and Jimmy said, come start a website for us, come and start doing stuff for us. And I was there for 2 hours a day, and I met this company. And at that stage, it was small, 10, 20 people. And then load shedding hit 2015, 2016. Mensa, listen to this. We never knew inverters before that time. Then inverters was like the hot topic. And we were making it locally. We still make it locally. And back then, I mean, you had to pay money and you'd wait 4 months because we couldn't build them fast enough. We couldn't keep up with the demand. At that stage, we were one of 5 inverters available in South Africa. Wow. So it was an incredible time. And I learned so much that time. Solar. It was early days. And then, of course, now, where we are now.
It's just insane.
Now we're one of 5 million inverters that are available. And every brand is in there. And everyone who had an import-export license now started becoming a solar guy. Anyone who touched the plug, I'm a solar guy. Hey? You see those buckets? I do gate motors and solar. I'm a plumber and solar. So it became this big opportunity, and unfortunately, South Africa didn't have legislation. We didn't adapt quick enough, and so it's become unfortunately a free for all. Now you get inverters that are named after people's names. You know, have you seen my Felicity? Check out my Sharon over here. Hey, there's a Jackson battery over here. Where are these guys? Because it's just the Chinese kind of infiltration, and so it's become a bit of a mess, unfortunately. But we are still part of the amazing story of Microcare. And we manufacture. We're now 34 years old. Manufacturing.
So manufacture
by hand, bro.
Inverters and
transformers. We wind them. We populate the PC boards. You've got to come check it out. The factory's down in North End. We've got an amazing team. Mark Telford is part of the team now. And we manufacture, and we're doing some amazing stuff. Containerized mini grids, powering hospitals in South Africa. Mensa, we're powering hospitals with local stuff.
I'd love to come and have a look. I must come and have
you
a
must
tour.
come and have a look, So it's very little dad jokes there.
I love
But it's electronics. It's just amazing to be part of something that's a solution for South Africa. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. And I know we just had a look at my system here. Just saying we can maybe tweak it up a bit. I'm gonna
fix it.
I'm gonna fix it properly.
The thing is, we're not educated. We're so used to South Africa just leaving the lights on. Because energy was cheap.
Yes,
it was nothing. So we left the lights on, and now we're like 15% coming now. Look at how much I'm paying for it. Yeah. And so we're becoming a bit more energy wise. And I think, look, one of the real joys of being part of Microcare is having it from our own home,
Yes.
Being sort of off grid and learning how to use power, how to save power.
Damn you that you're off grid. I also want to be off grid.
Yeah, and it's not about money. It's not about spending money. It's about better management, So that's what I just love. And I love being part of. Love being part of a local manufacturing company.
Yes.
Manufacturing a solution for South Africa, not to ship it around the world to sort out our problem. It's an absolute joy to be part of something that's so.
It's the best.
Yeah.
Support local. That's what we have to do.
Keep the money here,
Keep the money here.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
true.
yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so now we.
Okay,
that's
all right.
the solar. Now, just finally, your family, your wife.
Yes. Oh, amazing.
What's your wife's name and your.
Yeah.
She got children.
She's got children. They're also mine.
Okay,
21 years married. Come on, high five. There we go. Huh?
Well,
Give me a medal. Give her a medal. Give her a medal. Yeah. 21 years married. Amazing wife, Catherine. 3 beautiful children. The oldest.
You call her Kath normally, but then
Catherine. So on TV and radio, it's Catherine.
It's Gareth. Or it's
Yeah.
Gareth.
So
No.
And then my oldest daughter, matric at collegiate. Very serious now. Very serious.
Wow.
Academic.
All right.
Plays the French horn.
Yes.
Band leader.
Yes, and
Must fetch her at 8 o'clock.
and won't listen to a word.
Yes,
you say.
Dad knows
nothing.
Nothing. And has recently fallen in love. Another conversation.
Love it. Good.
But don't worry,
Good.
I've sorted it out.
She's gonna teach you.
Yeah, but it was interesting. My oldest was like never interested in guys, very conservative, knows what she wants in life. Then my youngest daughter's a VP. First day of high school. Dad, can I get a boyfriend? No.
VP for
Yeah,
you.
yeah.
Go VP.
Yeah. I'm like, when you're 26, we'll talk, okay? But Dad, 26 is so far, And then, so 2 older daughters, and then eventually got my way and a son. And he's 8 years old, Gray. And what an awesome gel and blend. We're having 2 girls and a boy. We're having the time of our lives. Just absolutely loving it. And it's a great place. I love being a dad. It's probably one of my favorite things, is being a dad.
It just takes your life and puts it completely upside down. It's nothing about you anymore.
No.
Nothing.
And it's interesting because I've done a lot in my life, as you can hear. I've done a lot of things. It's been a fulfilling journey, but nothing quite like beats being there for your kids and seeing them grow. And I love being the dad that pulls out my kids into a better life and who they are.
Yeah.
So and I just see that in them every day. It's an absolute joy. Yeah.
Brilliant. Yeah. Well, let's have it. Tell us. Oh, the podcast syndication. Guys, put in there. The podcast. There's a podcasting that you're doing.
Yeah.
That's like, what the hell?
Yeah.
Man?
Look,
what else can you fit in your plate?
Yeah, man. Look, let me just spin these plates quickly while you're talking. Just hold on.
Tell me about the podcast.
Look, so I think it's natural being part of radio and being in community. Is having these podcasts. Yeah. So I'm doing through Microcare, we're doing every Tuesday at 2 o'clock this awesome Let's Talk Solar. Trying to help people understand the confusion out of there. So go check it out, Microcare Energy on YouTube, the channel every Tuesday. Okay. And then we've done some really awesome podcasts with the Herald. We've done leadership podcasts. We've done running ones with Alec Riddle and running stuff. Kobe Potgieter and I do a podcast on property that we do on Facebook as well, and we air it and stuff.
Is that through Kingfisher?
Through Kingfisher as well, yeah. So I, you've got all these platforms. So I just love maximizing the time, that I have with all these things. And then I do this daily sports show for these 40 radio stations around the country.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So every day I sort of produce them. I keep them in mind,
Yes, okay.
So I've got a lot going on in my mind. I've got a lot of things, and I like balancing them all, and I like to be ahead of time with all this stuff.
But you're quite organized. You're not ADD there. Really.
No. There's no.
But you seem to be sort of more organized than the average guy with 1,000 ideas.
I get bored very quickly, so it must be fun, We do these murder mysteries with the BNE premium.
Yes.
We dress up.
Too.
Yeah, so we dress up. So I'm Professor Grape at some of the murder mystery parties. I really enjoy dressing up. We've got
Is it a live thing? So
a live thing.
How's it work?
It's like Cluedo.
Okay.
So you rock up at the party. They've got one coming up now in May. You rock up at this thing. You get a character. You dress up, and then through the night, someone is murdered. And then
This is Old Elizabeth Place, or is it
Yes. B&E Premium. And then through the night you get more clues, and then you must work out who did the murder. So it's like Cluedo, but with like a whole bunch of people.
Yeah.
You can do it with strangers. You can do it with like a group of people. We've done it with like school teachers in one school. We did it all together, like an interview party.
Okay.
Loads
so
of
another thing you do.
Yeah, I just
Good
love
Lord,
it.
man!
Good
It's
Lord.
just always another thing that pops up.
I love it, and I like the busyness of it all. I like the variety of it all. Today I went to get my costumes for the Herald Schools Quiz. The Schools Quiz coming up now in May. So I picked up all my costumes for the Schools Quiz. We got coming up. 52 schools, people!
Jeez,
52 schools coming.
Holy moly.
Yeah, looking forward to it.
Oh, Gary, you could just slot it on the screen because that thing doesn't work.
What's going on?
He's checking out the printer because he's trying to get the printer to work, but I'm broke today. So we've got a little section called the Getting to Know You section.
Okay, go.
Which is
Getting to know you, getting to know all about you.
all right. So some questions here for you. We're going to just pick some. We'll just pick some. Something spontaneous that you've done, or particularly irresponsible.
Yes. Oh, I love.
Irresponsibility.
You want short answers? Yeah.
No, it doesn't have to be short.
Well, I just quickly, the lead singer of U2.
Yes.
He says every holiday he loves to go away and just be responsibly irresponsible.
Oh, right.
He just goes and does crazy stuff.
Yes.
We stayed up past bedtime, and
right.
doing stuff like that. Yeah. So, I have skateboarded particularly a lot in my life in naughty places that you're not supposed to. So I just would like to apologize to Greenacre Shopping Centre for those towels and that railing. I'm really sorry. Really sorry.
Yes, and was it, did you break any bones?
Yes, we broke mine and many other people's bones.
As well.
Yeah.
Okay, the biggest risk you've ever taken?
Yeah, I think getting married, I think, is a big thing because not because of your wife or anything like that, but because when you're such an independent person, you jump in heads and and it's the best thing you've ever done.
How old were you when you got married?
25. We were 25, people.
Oh, come on, that's still young.
Yeah,
these days. I was 23.
I love
I think it was 23.
I love being married.
No, awesome. That's good. Hardest you've ever worked?
So weekends when I've got like full days radio, factory, and then events on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Yeah, so I've had a few of those now. So then you've got to just find a round of golf and a date in the midst of it.
Your events are always early in the morning.
Yeah,
I do a few of those. And that
last weekend, 6. Rumor that you've ever heard about yourself.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, I've never really been a particularly naughty person,
Yeah.
So I've never really got into lots of trouble, I must admit.
Yes.
There was a rumor that I'd be on Gino's show, but
the biggest learning experience you've ever had?
Well, I think putting yourself in the deep end all the time puts you in that position all the time, and I must admit I quite enjoy that. I quite like that.
A risk.
Yeah, so that whole thing of jumping in the deep end and seeing how this goes. So just quickly, one day on the radio, they said to me, Gareth, this is early on the radio, they said, Gareth, we need you to report on rhino conservation. They're doing skydiving for rhinos. I said, I'm there. Where must I go? Utenag Airstrip. Go. Get out there after my show. Run up there. Yes. I'm Gareth Burley reporting live. Gareth, you're next up. Sorry, what? Gareth, no, I'm here to talk about the internet. No, you're actually so I put my name forward and I'll skydive that day. Hey? I wasn't ready for that. Hey? That was a nerve-wracking day.
I'm sure. Did you ever go in the jet in the L39?
I haven't yet, but I've done lots of extreme things like that. Yeah, with racing and things like that.
The jet was hectic.
I look forward to that.
Stu Davidson. Patrick will take you up, I'm sure.
I've had Stu in studio many times, and I said to him once. I said, what does Stu Davidson do on a Friday afternoon? I like to go play 9 holes of golf at P Golf Club with my mate. He says, I put my shorts and slops on and I fly the Harvard down to Plettenberg. That's what he does for free. Yeah?
Man, I tell you, we went in that jet. It was the most insane thing I've ever done in my life.
I'm next.
Worst travel experience?
So one of the things you don't know about me is I've traveled extensively.
Really?
Yeah. So I have had the privilege of traveling to 42 countries in this world.
Jeez, like.
So all of Europe, most of Africa.
When did you fit it in?
Yeah, it was yesterday. So when I was a pastor, I looked after a number of churches in Malawi.
Okay.
So we used to travel a lot there and got involved in churches in Rwanda. Wow. So we used to road trip to there. Mensa. So we've traveled.
So Africa, a lot of African.
A lot of Africa, yeah. So traveling. Oh man, people are just amazing. Just meet people, listen, learn. Yeah. Don't come with your opinions or things. Yeah. I remember going to Rwanda, part of an amazing reach out to Rwanda 10 years after the genocide story, going to help out there, rebuild, paint schools. Wow. And I rocked up with a whole bunch of Australians and they said, "You're staying in the hotel. It's very dangerous here." And they gave us nappies to wear in the shower.
What?
No, because you're going to get germs in your genitalia. I promise you. Those blooming Australians. Don't listen to the Australians. All right, they're mad in the head.
Nappies.
Don't wear nappies in the showers.
By the time you finish, it's a big wet.
Yeah, man, feel like that.
No, that's terrible.
No.
Okay. Social situations that you dread.
Well, I'm not a big confrontational guy. I don't like big confrontation. So I'm a peacemaker. I generally like that. Yeah. So
Robin ran away. What is it?
Yeah. I like humor. Oh, look at that duck there without a head. Oh, sorry, while they're fighting. I generally like to diffuse a situation rather than. We'll sort out the truth later. Let's just calm everybody down. I'm all that. So I'm not a big confrontation guy.
Is there any way that you sabotage yourself?
Sabotage myself. Well, obviously, I mean, now doing a lot of stuff, my body's a little bit older now. So the other day I was like, what's going on with this leg? Why is this thing not working? So I think I've got to health-wise, just, while I'm doing all this, you've got to.
Because I know you don't run because of your knees, you say.
Yeah, so I played lots of soccer when I was younger and I had a big knee operation. So I've done I love cycling, do a bit of swimming, but golf's my main thing. But it's still very impactful. It's a very tough, rough sport, golf.
Very, very rough.
Tough. In the rough especially. It's a very rough sport. So so I don't do a lot of that. So I'm in my fat days now. In my thin days were earlier I'm now focusing on fat day. Fatness is more
70s Elvis. Like I was saying, thin 60s Elvis and fat 70s Elvis.
No, I'm ready for my fat days.
Is there any time that politeness or good manners has got you into trouble?
Oh yes, I think that's part of the problem is that because you're just so accommodating for everybody.
Yes.
And that you
especially as an MC.
An MC. Oh man. I've had some terrible days. Yeah. In the wedding photography days.
Oh man.
I was like. Like taking a photo. Can you just stand next to your mom there? It's like, that's my wife. Or shaking the guy. It's like, thanks for the wedding. It was so great. And then the guy's like, he puts out his left hand. I'm like, no, shake me with your right hand. He's like, I don't have a right hand.
Oh dear.
I've been photographing you all day with no right hand. Yeah, no, I've said some silly things.
Biggest irrational fear.
I suppose, I suppose as a father now, it's really just, it's about protecting your family. What's going to happen, in the elections. It doesn't bother me too much. I mean, my faith is not in man or things like that. So I try not to live in fear too much.
Good. The worst job that you've ever had?
Sure, I've had a few of those. Yeah, and I think
one.
Yeah, look, I mean, I enjoy emceeing, and it's always about other people. But the worst thing for me is when on radio they set up interviews for you. I'll never forget. Like, what's tomorrow morning? I'm doing funeral cover at 7:15 prime time. Guys, welcome to the show. We are we're excited about our day. Right, my next guest is funeral cover. Right, let's make this exciting. No.
What happens when you die is
So funeral cover, I don't like fashion. I don't like beauty. Don't get me to talk about
beauty.
I'm not pageants. I'm not
a big pageant person.
I'm not.
I also think like pageants. I don't know. I've done them before.
Really?
I did emceed the Mr. PE a few times, but then I do it in character, and it's hilarious because I get away with all sorts of chirps.
Let me not say too much.
Have you ever laughed so much that it's left an indelible memory?
Yeah. Well, I generally laugh a lot. I really enjoy. I want to enjoy my time. Yeah. But one story.
Yeah.
Maybe one last story.
Yeah.
So I was preaching in Bern in Switzerland.
Bern.
Bern,
Yes,
beautiful
yeah.
city of bears. They've got an inner city where they've got bears there. Beautiful. And I was preaching.
Capital, wasn't it?
No, that's Zurich and stuff. Anyway,
Yeah.
Bern, very beautiful. Anyway, I'm preaching there with an interpreter. Day 3 that I'm there. So I did a whole day of children's stuff. Then I did parenting workshops and stuff. So I was passionate about empowering people. And the last day was to the whole church. So it's like, and then somebody interpreting. And I was wearing my Springbok jersey. Anyway, so I'm busy now talking. And the lady in the front who's organized this whole thing sends up a note to me. And she says, in this note, now she's trying to write English. She says, you're preaching the wrong thing.
Oh, yeah.
And now I've got an interpreter while I'm busy talking now.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I'm like, look, I can't do anything now. I don't know what I've done wrong, but I've got to keep going, Next note, please stop this topic.
Oh no.
And so the story goes, and I had to keep going. Anyway, in the end, she wasn't trying to be rude. She was just saying, she was trying to tell me that the interpretation of mine into the language wasn't coming across correctly. But I was receiving it like, you're a bad person, stop doing this. I was getting worse. And I was just sinking down. I was like, what am I thinking about?
Terrible.
It was terrible. But we laughed about it and laughed. And it was not a bad moment. But man, I felt that moment, you just sink and boom, you're doing the wrong thing with the interpreter in Bern, in Switzerland.
Yeah, but not just Bonn. And I was thinking as well. It was West Germany, East Germany. Yeah.
Right. Same continent.
The career highlight that you're most proud of?
Wow. I think recently finishing those hours of Kyle Army 9 hour at the end of it, I thought, wow, I did it. That was a long time. And I think receiving awards over the years, the ESCOM award, those things just encourage you to keep going. Winning the Nelson Mandela Bay Business Events Awards, it's
brilliant.
And I mean, I was up against like top guys, tough guy, and I thought I wasn't going to win it. And when they said my name with all my friends and family, I was like, wow, that was really great.
It's a win. It's a good win.
Yeah.
Your most prized possession and why? I know, it's not a very Christian thing to say.
Yeah. Well, I'm very obsessed with my gold and.
Yes.
Look, I don't really have many positions. I mean, I'm certainly not running back for my golf clubs or anything, stuff like that. I've got a guitar that means a lot to me,
What is it?
So it's not a genuine Gibson, a Les Paul, but it's
Epiphone.
It's Epiphone. It's a lookalike, and I got it after my first job.
Les Paul.
I got a nice paycheck, and I bought that. So that was. It's a full black one. Yeah.
Okay,
so
lovely.
I tried to bring it tonight, but Gino didn't want me to play.
No, absolutely. But Amps in the back.
Yeah, Brew, come on now. But yeah, I think that I've got a box of letters of things that have meant a lot to me over the years. From grandparents or stuff like that. I think I'd probably run in for that. That kind of thing. Leave the guitar. Smash it in the fire.
One channel. There we go to the internet. There we're on again. And so I think our last question before our internet finally keels over. Are you always positive and happy? And have you experienced depression? I mean, this is
look. I mean, I was very sad that I was only the
And we're in.
We're in.
Oh,
Last question. You're still hanging on there, folks.
I know. The final question was do you ever get down? Do you? Fat cats.
Look, people always say, how do you stay so positive on the radio? Every morning, wake up at 6. Are you crazy?
Yeah.
And I like to say, look, it's never really been about me. That's really what's kept it going,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't feel like doing it all the time, I feel fraught and pup and,
Of course.
Yeah.
But
knowing that I've got guests coming, people that to tell their story. So,
yeah.
I've got my monthly Kobe Portrait to fix, I've got the team from Specsavers, I've got Yo Media, I've got all these guests coming. I'm telling their story. So it's not about me being positive or happy. It's about celebrating these people, Ollie and all them,
And it's, I've always said, people say the same thing to me, do you get down? And I suppose you get a bit, I'm not, I certainly my mood swings don't go up and down. I don't know if you're the same, but some people battle with it. They battle with a bit of depression.
I think, being a pastor for a few years, helping people, you quickly realize that life's not really about you. And if you make it about you, then it gets quite depressing. I think it's quite a thing to celebrate. And I think that's part of being a parent that I love, It helps me quickly get my eyes off my belly of nonsense or self-pity. Really, it's a waste of time. It doesn't really do much. It's about celebrating people. That's why I love being an MC. People always say, yes, what a great event. I'm like, well, it wasn't really my event. But I'm glad that they felt that I was taking ownership of it because I want them to feel like it's their thing. So that's the great thing about radio. And that let's, the Bible speaks about being salt and light. Let's be salt to a pup world, a dark world that's full of nonsense, Let's go and bring hope, man.
And for PE, for
absolutely. What a place,
So fantastic.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for being. Oh, last couple of comments.
A
couple of comments coming in as well. I know we've got Green Power there. See, thank you, Christopher. Titch Wild there says, great conversation. Thank you, Titch. And Wayne Bolton again, yes, for the giving freely of yourself. Thank you.
Pleasure.
And I know, of course, Dean.
I see Vicky laughing at my dad jokes. Thank you, Vicky.
Yes.
Hey, hell's bells, oh tuppies, Yes, old people these days,
And more radio people as well.
Rob, legend.
And Rob, you must let me know if you got your Fitch and Lees. He was a winner the other day. He was one of our winners. Thank you, Brendan. Fantastic. A leader. That's a leader.
Alida works with me at Kingfisher. Thanks, Alida.
And I see Sean Sullivan. Red Bull is always winning, but not Grand Prix race between the 15th and 16th was like the 1-2. I think that they're sandbagging. I think honestly that they can go faster, but they don't want to tell people what it is.
You don't want to make it too boring. Only a little bit boring.
A little bit boring as opposed to.
Look, it's Formula One. Leave it as it is. Go watch something else if you don't like it. All right.
Oh, it's fine. We still watch. Brandon Kelly says the motorsport's on the rise.
Yes.
Yes. Motormouth. Absolutely, he's got his Motormouth that he does.
Brilliant.
Regularly as well. Lovely guy.
Yeah.
I really.
I had him on. He was on radio last week. Yeah.
Brilliant.
Really awesome.
And Davina. Can hear talking, but yes, you can hear us. We were eating we were trying to wait for the internet to come back for the picture. And thank you for joining us. Thank you.
Pleasure.
Gareth, fantastic, man, to have you on.
Pleasure.
And such a positive energy.
Thank you.
I do love it. Because that's what we've got to be positive. We've got to go. It's certainly PE's got huge potential.
Come on.
Huge potential. There we go. And so, thank you. We're going to do the draw while we're dancing. We're going to do the draw. And that's for the Fitch and Leads. We've got Fitch and Leads, a whole case of Fitch and Leads that will be posted to somebody who's online at the moment. So we hope it's going to be you. Who's it going to be? It's Alida. Alida Klassen. Congratulations, Leo. You'll get it in the post, and they'll send it to you. Thank you to Gareth Burley.
Pleasure.
Thank you so much for coming on. It's been an absolute pleasure having you on. Thank you, Sean. TV33. That's it. Brad Binder. We love him. We love Brad Binder. And we'll see you next week. Thank you to Fitch and Leads, and thank you to Fat Cats, and thank you to Amobia for our internet as well.
Relax, sit down. Coming out of PE town. Have a drink, find a shot. Never mind your liver, get to Gino spot.
Gino spot.
Get to Gino spot.
Gino spot.
Have a laugh, have a giggle, and exercise your middle. Have a Gino shot.
Gino shot.
Get to Gino spot.
Gino spot.
Get to Gino spot.
Gino spot.
Have a laugh, have a giggle, and exercise your middle. It's